Hello and welcome back everyone, this is Allure SC back at you with another Fortnite tutorial video. In today's video, we will be covering the Ridge Amplifier, or the amplifier that's on the immediate left of your home base. Spawns will be coming in from the northern side. So for this particular video, we will be keeping to the previous format that we were using in our previous video. You guys seem to like it, so we'll keep to it. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and cover the very quick overview. Alright. So over here, you'll notice that we have our amplifier. It is quite heavily covered up, as you guys can see, and it is mainly due to the fact that you want to make sure that smashes don't charge, as well as the lobbers don't do silly things like blow up your tunnel. So you really want to cover it up well. Alright, so over there we also do have the pathing. You'll notice that the pathing is all path towards the left hand side. There are very heavy block offs going on towards the center portion. Alright, so I'm just very quickly just tracing out the outline of where the husk will be coming from the upper part of that side over there, from the bottom as well, and they're all being walled off and pathed off to the left hand side of this particular area. Alright, so you guys can see there's quite a number of block offs going on. Yeah, total of 3 or 4 layers of block offs going on over there, more block offs going off to the right side as well, and this entire little hill area over there is also completely blocked off. Alright, so let's go ahead and get right into the spawn as well as the pathing. Next thing we will cover will be the block offs, and last but not least, we will then cover the lava balls and how to position and move them around. Alright, so let's go ahead and get in there. So as we can see, as was mentioning, the husks do spawn in from these areas right here. We have some spawns coming in from the top of this hill area here. We have more husks spawning in from the bottom over there, as well as a couple of them spawning more towards that left side over there, and then that basically covers the total spawn. Alright, so let's just go ahead and cover from the furthest left side first. Okay, you will notice that if this particular area down here went left to their own devices, they will probably try to move up from this ramp over here and punch through that side to go to the amplifier. As you can see, we have gone ahead and blocked them off. This particular side also will have spawns. We have basically used both of these spawns over here and are going to be pathing them off into this particular ridge area right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and walk through the general pathing. They're all going to walk up here. Immediately upon reaching this last tile, they're going to be pathed off to the right, and they will be turned on this side over here like so. Okay, and as was mentioned, there is a third spawn over here. Some of these guys will be spawning from up here, and they will all be joining in. So we have 3 of these areas all being pathed onto the same area right here. Okay, so they will all be pathed along this side over here, 1 tile straight, and then 2 tiles more towards the right side over here. And then after that, they will be turned left, and then they will be following this particular ridge side all the way straight right here. All the way straight over here. Okay, you can count the number of tiles yourself, and upon reaching this particular corner over here, which I would like to highlight to you guys, is actually an area that will be allowing you to there's basically an open space over here. All right, so that's where the last of the floor pieces really does end, and then over here is a floating piece right here. Alright, and then as they pass through over here, we're going to path them left, following the natural pathing of the husks, and then they are all going to go up onto the amplifier right here. Okay, so that will be the general pathing of the husks. Now, how exactly are we going to be accomplishing this? Very heavy amount of block offs will be needed, so I'm going to be going through it section by section. Starting from the furthest left side over here, you will notice that we do in fact have 2 wall launchers over here. Alright, we have 2 wall launchers over here, and both of these are all tier 3 metal. Alright, so this part over here is going to be where our home base north build is, as was mentioned before. Alright, so there's some block-offs over here that will particularly coincide with each other as well. But first and foremost, spawns coming in from this side over here, 2 walls over here. Alright, opening up these cones over here, you'll see that we also do have floor pieces underneath as well. You want to make sure you have those. You want to have a wall on this side as well, and 1 wall, 2 walls, 3 walls, and 4 walls going to encompass this particular side over here. We have 2 more walls over to this side over here. I don't really know exactly how much of this is exactly necessary, but this is what we have right now to ensure that the husks do not in fact come up from this top side over here. Okay, so as you can count over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 across with the 2 walls over here to the sides like so. Okay, so behind this particular wall off as well, you want to make sure that you have these curved upturn pieces right here. Alright, these curved upturn slants over here, and we're going to be having all 1, 2, 3, as well as 4 of these across over here. Beneath these ones, you want to also make sure that you have some of these little upturned floor pieces as well, but as you can see, we have only placed 2 of them along the main pathing of the husks. Alright, as we are still developing this build, we still don't really know exactly how much we're trimming. So you guys can also experiment on how much you want to try trimming, but for our purposes intent right now, this particular block off will work for you if you build it in this particular way. Alright, if you want to try trimming tiles, you can try doing so at your own risk and find out whether or not it can become more efficient. Alright, so behind that particular layer, you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 walls as well, with accompanying slants behind as well. Notice that these slants over here do not in fact have any what do you call that, upturn floor pieces beneath them. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 as well. Alright, and then you can see over here that we do have 2 of these pieces of walls over here alongside these 2 walls right here, and that forms off the block off for that particular side. Alright, so more of these on this side over here as well. We have 1 wall, 2 walls, and 3 walls over here. Alright, and this is basically leading up towards this little ridgy area, or this little ramp area over here that is overlooking your amplifier build on that side over there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 walls blocking off as such, and on this side over here we do have another wall. And on this side over here, we do have another wall as well. And for these walls particularly, it is mostly to do, I believe, with adding not just resistance on this left side over here, but also for the other build on the other side as well, to make sure that the husks do not try to punch through and doing weird things. Okay, so other than that, we have 2 slants over here. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, as was mentioned earlier. There will be no slant over here, but there are 2 slants over here that will be forming the block off for this particular side. No floor pieces behind these ones. Alright, 2 more walls over here. Beneath these 2 cones, we have 2 floor pieces as well. Oops, I forgot to upgrade that one. Alright, so 2 cones as well as 2 floor pieces, followed by 1, 2, 3 of these wall pieces right here, and this basically forms off the entire block off for this side over here to ensure that the husks do not come through on this side. Okay, so once you've gone ahead and done this, you will notice that the husks will then proceed very nicely to walk towards this right side middle portion over here, just the central part. Okay, so this part over here, I will say, is going to be a little bit fiddly, so do bear with me. Alright, so first and foremost, you will use this particular area over here, the 3 tile ramp, as your point of reference. You want to block off these 2 walls over here and place your wall launchers. Okay, you have 2 wall launchers over here, and behind these 2 wall launchers, you want to make sure that you have the so-called anti-smasher floors. Alright, so these are basically upturned floor pieces pointed to a diagonal. Alright, so we have one of these over here and we have another one over here as well. Alright, so this is a flat wall over here. This one over here is an upturned pyramid piece and another upturned pyramid piece over here forming a triangle. Alright, behind this you want to have walls and you want to have another wall over here to block off this particular side. So what else is going on behind over here? You'll notice that this is where we have our lava ball isolated. You'll also notice that some of these tiles are not being broken. It's because this particular lava ball has been isolated to the point where it becomes to a smaller section of a 2x2 lava ball, and it is very consistently landing inside here if you do your block offs well. Alright, so if you guys want to continue finding out how this is being done, please do stay on and listen to make sure that you have the block offs done well. Alright, so as you can see over here for the trapping itself, you'll see that we have two wall launchers over here, and then moving off to this side over here we do have the wall dynamo over here. I have opted to use wall dynamo instead of wall launcher because I really do not want Hus to be coming in and punching on these walls over here when they get launched backwards. Okay, so I have slowing spikes over here, wall darts over here with increased health, gas traps, wall launcher over here with increased health, increased health, sorry. This is a regular wall launcher with triple impact. All the wall launchers have triple impact unless otherwise stated. This one over here, I do have a floor launcher with triple impact, and we also have the wall being built up here to send them backwards. Why am I using this particular area? Specifically because this particular tile over here is very sensitive, and sometimes if Hus stay too long on this particular tile, they will try to punch through and then all kinds of bad stuff will happen. So we put a wall spikes over here with increased health, 3 impact floor launcher, as well as 2 tiles upwards and a slanted piece up there to make sure that the Hus are being sent backwards and away from this particular tile. Slowing floor spikes over here, wall darts over here, gas traps up above, wall launchers, slowing floor spikes, wall darts with increased health, gas traps, slowing spikes, wall launchers, gas traps, slowing spikes, gas traps, all the good stuff. Okay, so all this stuff over here very standard. I am using all of the gas traps over here up until this point right here. I'm using the reload one. Past this point, I'm using the ones with critical damage. Okay, so over here, this is basically where there is the slant or turn off. Alright, there is a turn over here, and beyond this turn over here we have a wall launcher, 4 impact. So this one over here is 4 impact, everything else has been 3 impact. So 4 impact wall launcher over here, 4 impact wall launcher over here, 4 impact wall launcher over here, 4 impact floor launcher, 4 impact floor launcher. The idea behind this is you want to make sure that every time this one goes off, Huskies will fly off to the side over here. If they're not being tossed across to the side over there, they will land on these areas over here, and then they will get tossed down below onto that area over there, and they will be put into a massive loop. Alright, so moving forwards, slowing spikes with according wall launchers over here with triple impact, or 4 impact for these ones over here, 1 and 2. These ones have 4 impact because you want to make sure that you toss the Hus down and don't get them caught on this little area right there. Okay, so what else do we have going on over here? That part over there is a slant, and we have all of these slowing spikes over here, This part we also gonna hit and block this part off. Wall launcher, floor launchers, these ones are all to send them downwards over there. 4 impact over here, 3 impact over here. Alright, so on this side over here we do have a triple impact wall launcher, and these ones over here are all 4 impact floor launchers to make sure that we chuck the husks downwards. The ones towards the back over here are 5 impact, so 5, 5, 4, 4, and these ones are basically to send the husk down into the pit over there and get them getting some good gravity damage. These ones are 5 impact floor launchers over here, and basically this will be forming the main path of what the husk will be taking towards your amplifier. Alright, so what else do we have going on here as well? So over here we do also have what you would call more block-offs along these stairs over here. Alright, and these are basically to make sure that when the husks get tossed from these sides over here, that they will walk back in the loop right here and go up the ramp again over and over again. Alright, so some of the husks as well, when they get locked down, knocked down rather from these parts up here, they will also walk around this particular Devil North area here, and they'll walk up this area here all the way up, all the way up, and all the way around over here, over and over again. Alright, so that basically forms the core of this particular build. Okay, so how else do you make sure that the husk comes through here then? Okay, so we were talking a little bit about the block off earlier on as well. So we were right here, and how do we isolate this particular lava ball here? Okay, so this particular area here is going to be very fiddly as mentioned. So first and foremost, I want to highlight that these are two very crucial walls right here. So counting from this particular area here, as a point of reference, okay, you have this 2x2 area with that lava scar over there. So right next to that lava scar, you want to make sure that you are having this particular floor piece right here. Do not turn it up, leave it as a regular floor piece flat down. One floor piece over here as well as the second floor piece over here as well to be flat down. These are what we would like to call the lava ball holders. These are crucial to make sure that your lava ball does not shift around. So you have those two tiles over there and all of these walls as well. So you just have this area here isolated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I've also gone ahead and placed a health increasing wall launcher over here in case anything bad does happen. But so far so good, nothing bad has happened. Alright, so as you can see over there, this is exactly how you want to build it. This over here was the cone that we were having. Alright, and over here we have an upturned floor piece. This is simply to add additional resistance to make sure that the husks do not come through on this side over here. Also remember that I had a wall launcher over here that I was mentioning that was a triple impact. It did not have health, but the health is in fact coming from a wall dart that I placed here simply to increase the health. If you wanted to, you could also try doing away with this. I'm putting this as an extra insurance to make sure that the husks do not come through on this particular area right here. So upturned floor piece over here, one, and then a two-tile upturned, a two-tile pillar piece over here to ensure that the husks do not try to break through as well. Okay, moving forwards a little bit as well, we do have these cone pieces that has been turned up into a slant. So you want to count basically 1 tile, 2 tiles, and 3 tiles of these upturned slanted piece over here. Okay. And behind that as well, we do have 1 of these walls, 2 of these walls, and then 3 of these walls. And this third wall over here is going to be part of your build over there for the corridor. Alright, more of these walls over here. And behind or beneath these floors over here, you'll notice that we also want to have upturned floor pieces. This one over here is a flat upturned 2-piece. This one over here is an anti-smasher diagonal. And over here, this one was your flat piece that holds the lava ball in place. Alright, so behind this as well, let me also go ahead and highlight that we do in fact have 2 more floor pieces going on over here with more conal pieces on top of them. So 2 floor pieces, 2 cones. Alright. So this part over here that we have not mentioned, we already covered that particular portion over there. But beyond that portion, you also want to have wall over here, upturned floor piece over here, as well as a slanted piece over here. And then now this is going to be the majority of the stair area over here, or the scuffed part as I like to call it as well for this particular ridge. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how we have built this particular area here. We have 1 wall, 2 walls, 3 walls, and 4 walls right here. Behind these walls, we have 3 cone pieces with accompanying flat floor pieces beneath. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. Alright, and then off to the particular elevated area over here, you want to make sure that you have this upturned 2-piece floor and these curved, what do you call that, slant going on over here as well. Alright, and this, for point of reference, is going to be your upper area right here. This is a 2x2 upper area right here along that ridge. Okay, so once you've gotten that down, behind this we have 1 wall, 2 walls, 3 walls, 4 walls, and 5 walls along over here. You'll notice that this is the second area that we have the lava ball falling down over there, and that is the second lava scar over there. I'll get into it in just a minute. Alright, so 5 walls over here, and behind these walls you will notice that what we do have are 2 flat floor pieces right here. Alright, 2 flat floor pieces right here. And then after that we have 3, or 1, 2, 3 upturned floor pieces behind this. Okay, and the rest of this are all going to be upturned slant pieces all the way across over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 of these upturned slants over here. Alright, so 6 walls behind that as well, all the way across. Alright, and behind that, okay, you also notice that we do in fact have these upturned floor pieces as well. So you guys might be wondering, Allura, why on earth do you have so much of these block-offs over here? Well, whether or not all of this is strictly necessary, I really do not know, but what I will say, however, is that this particular area is susceptible to what we like to call the meteor rocks. Alright, and if the meteor rocks end up weakening some of your wall-offs over here to the point where they are no longer strong enough, you will have husk punching through over here and completely bursting down your build, which is going to be really terrible. So some of these pieces over here are here as insurance to make sure that your build does not fall apart. Alright, so as was mentioned, 6 walls across that particular side over there, 1 wall over here, and then across the entire side over there, upturned floor pieces, 6 more of these upturned slants over here. Alright, all the way across, and then off to this side over here you have 5, because over here we do have some floor launches going on, so you have 5 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all the way across right there. Okay, and then last but not least, right next to your amplifier over here, this is the amplifier covering build. What I have done, or what I've opted to do, is place 1 upturn, 2 upturned, and 3 of these upturned anti-smasher floors over here. And the reasoning for this is because I was experiencing some smashers when they were coming up this particular area right here, they were doing silly things like charging, and I did not like that at all. So having these anti-smasher floors over here really does help. However, what I've also noticed that in the process of fine-tuning the builds as well, the smashers were less likely to actually even make it to that point over there, because a lot of them actually do get sent down and die beyond this point already. But all of these are what I like to call safety precautions. Make sure you build them well. Alright, so beyond this, the amplifier, as was mentioned in the previous video as well, you want to make sure that ever since 10.20, 10.30 has dropped, you want to make sure to build a lot more pieces around your amplifier. It might seem overkill, but it is necessary. Why? Because lobbers as well as smashers will go crazy if you do not place sufficient tiles around your amplifier. Alright, so we have turn piece, turn piece, turn piece. Alright, this part over here I have opted not to place a turn piece over here, because for some strange reason, you know, like things tend to get very messy if you connect these walls over here. I've decided to leave it open. Alright, so this is how we've gone ahead and placed our walls over our amplifier. Alright, not going to get too much into depth in it. Alright, so last but not least, we are just going to go ahead and check out the 2 lava balls over here. So as was mentioned, okay, the lava ball positioning over there, you want to make sure you have those 2 floors over there to make sure the lava balls do get held in place. Beyond that, we also want to make sure that we also have all of these walls in place alongside all these floors and upturned slanted pieces as well. All these have already been mentioned earlier. Alright, so beyond this, I think we have a wall over here as well. All those walls over here are connected to these stair area here, and I do think we do have one slanted piece over here that I forgot to mention. Alright, so with regards to the positioning of the lava ball as well, please do make sure, guys, that you are placing your tiles exactly as how we have placed them over here in our little demonstration. Alright, because if you have place any of these tiles out of position and stuff like that, especially around these very sensitive areas down here, if you do not build them exactly, your lava ball is probably going to fall into your build and completely obliterate everything. Alright, so if you don't want that to happen, make sure to build it exactly as shown. Alright, so is there anything else that I'd like to cover as well? So over here, I think I was mentioning that we do have some of these areas being launched down. We also want to make sure that you have some of these areas over here with the accompanying floor launchers to make sure that you send all the husk downwards into the pit area over there for some serious looping action. Alright, beyond this as well, over here it kind of doubles up a little bit as a lobber prevention system or a flinger prevention system as well, so that if any of them do get sent down, you want to make sure that they do not try to fling from here and they start walking up from here. And some of you might be also wondering also, Why do I have some of these areas here being blocked off? And the reason for that is because I don't want flingers to be walking around and dropping down, because flingers can in fact go down into the pit over there and fling from there, which is not very good. Yeah, they'll be finding themselves a little blind spot. I have seen flingers actually standing from down below over here, or from up these areas over here and flinging into your base. Very, very bad. Don't want that. Okay, so block offs over here. We do have slanted piece over here, followed by 2 pieces over here to block them off. I've also gone ahead and blocked off this side as well, 2 of these walls over here and 1 more wall over here. Alright, this particular block off, how exactly did we build it? You can see that we have 2 walls over here, followed by 2 floor pieces over here. Behind that, we have 2 slanted pieces up here. This is basically to catch some of the smashes that do sometimes get caught on this side over here. If you leave them downwards like this, some of them will end up punching the wall over there. You don't want that. If you leave it like this, they'll simply walk back up and they can get launched back down again. Alright, so 2 walls over here, 1 floor piece over here, and that basically covers it for this particular ramp side over here. If you do choose to or want to try and make this part even stronger, you know, I wouldn't really necessarily recommend it because I feel it's strong enough already. You can in fact try to put in some of these additional walls over here, some accompanying tar pits over here to launch the husks that do get sent down over here, you know, and keep them in a constant loop. But I said already, it's not really necessary, right? So other than that, is there anything else that I think we like to cover? I think this basically is it. Alright, so without further ado guys, let me go ahead and show you guys a little bit of gameplay, alright, so that you guys can also see all of this in action. I also like to point out as well that in terms of your positioning, okay, I would usually place base, okay, base I would usually place it right over there on that spot right there, okay, that particular spot right there. And in terms of where I would usually stand during the wave itself, I would usually stand right over there on the very tip of this edge over here. Just hang out right here. Alright, nice little spot over here that you can use to shoot all of your meteor rocks and make sure that the husks do not go anywhere that you don't want them to. Alright, so yeah, let's go ahead and get into the demonstration video right there. So here we go. So this is basically a recording of me playing on the 4-player mode, but I was doing this solo. So basically the difficulty has been scaled for 4 players to simulate a 4-player situation, but instead of having 4 people, I am solo. This is on wave 20, as you guys can see over there. I placed the base at the position that I was mentioning over here, and we do in fact have these space rocks. So you'll notice that right now I'm just going to be heading into position over there to the place where I was just highlighting, and all of the husks are just going to be walking over there very nicely into the path that we have created for them. Alright, bringing out my crank shot, and then soon the meteor rocks are going to be falling out from the sky, and then I'll proceed to shoot them down. Okay, so that's pretty much all I'll be doing for most of this wave. I'm just sitting there shooting at lava rocks and hanging out with chat, and not too much is actually really happening, isn't it? You guys can see the amplifier is still hanging out over there. Husks are all hanging out inside the amp area itself as well, and really not very much has to be done. I'm just sitting there shooting at the lava ball. The big lava rock has fallen as well. More husks are coming through. I'm just alternate tabbing and looking at my music and stuff like that. You can see all of the husks are just very nicely dying inside the area right there. No damage has been done to the amplifiers, even though the rocks have been falling, you know, nothing much is also being done. Alright, so yeah, you guys can just see the numbers just popping off on the side over there. I'm just running around doing absolutely nothing. And yeah, as good as AFK. Alright, so hope you guys enjoyed the build. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Alright, take care guys, and bye-bye now.